poppin', everyone? Welcome back. Zach Lesage here from the Shuffle Squad. Today we're going to be covering over Gardevoir EX. Now, we've already had Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet, but I think it gets a little bit better when it comes to Paldea Evolved. What exactly makes it better? Well, stay tuned to see exactly what makes Gardevoir the new Gardevoir in this video. Included is going to be the list, gameplay, strategy explanation, all that good stuff. So if you haven't already got a chance, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and let us know in the comments below if there's anything that you liked about this video, what you think about the list. Let's start a discussion. That being said, the list is available in the description below, so you can copy and paste it right into PTCG Live or copy it into in real life, so you're able to build that deck and play around with it. That being said, let's jump into the deck profile. Let's get it. So as you can see, we have our Gardevoir deck here, and of course we're going to be doing a lot of Gardevoir things. Gardevoir's main strategy is using Psychic Embrace. As often as you like during your turn, you could accelerate Psychic energies from your discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon. If you attach energy to your Pokemon in this way, put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. So we have to do some damage to our Pokemon, but we also have ways to infinitely attach energies. Or I mean, I guess we only have like 11 energies in this deck. 10 being able to be attached with Psychic Embrace, but 10 feels like infinite when it comes to the Pokemon TCG. What are the Pokemon that we're going to be powering up? Well, we have access to be powering up Zacian V, so we could use Storm Slash and doing 60 plus 30 for each Psychic Energy attached to this Pokemon. That's a lot of damage on this Pokemon, but it's also a lot of damage that we're providing. This is enough to knock out V-Stars, V-Maxes, EX, you name it. Zacian V is quite powerful. We can also be powering up Cresselia. Now, Cresselia has Moonglow Reverse, and it only requires 1 energy. So the key factors about this card, it has 120 HP, and we can move the damage counters that we've put on our board to one of our opponent's Pokemon. So allowing us to kind of have this beam attack that is not prevented by Manaphy or anything else like that. Another one of the attackers that we have in this deck is Gardevoir itself. So we have the regular Gardevoir. We can accelerate more energies with Shining Arcana, but Brainwave has the same attack as Zacian. Gardevoir does have a lower amount of HP, but we do have another card that might be helpful. We have Reversal Energy. So if we fall behind on prize cards, we can attach Reversal Energy to our Gardevoir because it is an evolution Pokemon, and we have ways to attack with Gardevoir to do more damage. This is like a plus 90 if you've ever seen one. Now, another cool thing that we've added into this deck, and you could either go with this version of the deck, which is a little bit more pricey, both on PTCG Live and in real life, is the Drifloon Bravery Charm Champions Festival package. Drifloon does 30 times the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon, and you might be like, yo Zach, we could put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon because of Psychic Embrace. 5 times 3 is 150. Why would you want to have a single prize card doing 150? That's not great. Bravery Charm allows us to bring our HP to 120, which means we can put 10 damage counters on this Pokemon, or we could put, doing some math here, we could put 10, which allows us to do 300 damage when it comes down to it. So that seems pretty good if you ask me. And the other thing that we have is Champs Festival, probably the part that makes it expensive. So it's the 1 Drifloon, the 1 Bravery Charm, and the 1 Champions Festival. Champions Festival is currently not craftable online, so you have to either find someone who's played in Worlds and get their code, or in real life you have to buy this card for $300 to $400 US in an English copy. Other foreign copies can either be more or less expensive depending on the region, but it's a hard card to acquire, and I understand that not everyone's going to have it. If you are cutting these, if you don't have these, I would recommend adding in probably a copy of Lumineon, a copy of Temple of Sinnoh. Maybe 2 copies of Temple of Sinnoh and a Lumineon is probably a fair substitution immediately, and then we'll kind of see how it goes from there. But if you're balling on a budget, you could bring this deck from being like a $500 deck to maybe a $100 deck or an $80 deck. Just throwing that out there because I know not every single person has Champions Festivals. I'm in quite a blessed position even to have 1 copy online. All my other copies got sold throughout the years. I was a struggling player, I'll tell you that. But this allows us to heal our Pokemon. So those damage counters that we're putting on with Drifloon, it actually allows us to go from 120. We can basically put 11 damage counters on Drifloon with Champions Festival after having 6 Pokemon play, healing it, hit for 330. It's a path counter. We can knock out something like a Gardevoir EX, a Mew VMAX. You get the idea. The big card that we're adding to this deck is Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it onto the bottom of their deck. If any player puts cards on the bottom of their deck in each way, players draw a card for each of the remaining prize cards. So in this case, I think it's one of those things where Iono allows us to utilize Kirlia so that we put Iono cards, like we force our opponent to use Iono. So in the early game, we could use Iono as a shuffle, put it at the bottom of our deck, draw 6. Late game, we could be like, hey opponent, you have 2 prize cards left. You're going to shuffle, draw 2. I don't care how many I shuffle, draw, because I'll still have access to Kirlia. I'll still have access to Shining Arcana. We have a lot of recovery built into this deck. We should be able to survive Iono. And Iono is probably going to be the key card of this format. Mark my words, Iono is the key card of this format. So those are really the big changes that we have here. I don't really see anything else beyond just a modified list. We also have Super Rod, and I'm going to change this one over to the new art because I like playing with the silver borders. But shuffle any 3 combination of Pokemon and basic energies. We don't need to play Miriam, so a lot of the supporters that we had to play, we don't necessarily have to play anymore. So overall, this is the list that we have. Again, I am going to put it in the description. If not, be sure to kind of slow pause this video if you're watching it anywhere else, or if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're too lazy. Any of the above, you could definitely grab this list here. I think it's pretty solid, but I am going to continuously work on it. Like I said, you could replace Champions Festival, Drifloon, Bravery Charm for at least double Sinnoh and Lumineon to start off, and we'll see how that plays out. But let's jump into some gameplay, see what's going on with this Gardevoir deck. Alright, so we're going to be calling this coin flip, see exactly what's going on. Our opponent chose heads. Let's see where this coin flip goes. Not sure how much gameplay we're going to get into since we've covered Gardevoir before. I do want to go first if we get an opportunity to, but our opponent did win. Maybe we'll get 1 game out, maybe we'll get 2 games out, maybe we'll even get 3 games out. I really just want to get a good game. There's also an air show going on outside. So if anyone's like, hey, what's that random sound? Is Zach okay? Yeah, it's just an air show. This is actually kind of a sick start. You're going to go with the Mew there. And yeah, we're just going to start with the 1 Pokemon. There's no reason to ever start with any more than just 1 Pokemon. Let's see how it goes. We're just waiting on our opponent here to finish up. And they started with Squawkabilly. Now, this is an interesting card. I'm not sure entirely what they're going to be playing. Maybe Squawkabilly is played in either Lugia decks, or sometimes it's played in Ting-Lu decks. Both of those should be okay-ish matchups for us. And with the fighting energy, I'm assuming it's Ting-Lu. I'm pretty good at these things sometimes. So Gardevoir versus Ting-Lu. Ting-Lu says as long as it's in your active spot, your opponent's Pokemon in play have any damage counters on them, have no abilities except for Pokemon EX. So we have access to use our abilities in general with our Gardevoir EX. Ting-Lu seems kind of spice. Maybe they'll put a damage counter on our Mew. Maybe we'll get a turn with using our abilities. So far, this looks like a pretty good start for our opponents. Really no complaints there. Also, another good reason not to put damage counter or Pokemon on our bench. They could have maybe put damage counters on the bench with Hawlucha this turn, but they're just going to be turn 2, turn 1 power up Ting-Lu, turn 2 attacking with Ting-Lu. They're chilling, although they are down to 0 cards, or just one card in their hand, I guess, with the trekking shoes that they just played. So they might not have everything going on here. So even if they hit for 150, it's not the end of the world for us. Something to consider. We could also put Cresselia down when it comes down to this matchup. I think before I do anything, Mysterious Tail is going to be a lot better if we go Battle VIP Pass. I am going to grab 1 Ralts and 1 Greninja. Greninja's at least going to allow us to use our ability there. And maybe to increase our chances more, we're going to go Concealed Cards, pitching an energy away before we use Mysterious Tail to try to thin our deck out of non-item cards. And in this case, we can see that we have a Level Ball. I'm going to go with, I think I'm just going to go with Level Ball here. Maybe I'll go with Fog Crystal so we have a higher chance of drawing into things. This could be tough for us. So let's go Fog Crystal, searching our deck for a Ralts. And I'm just going to go for Ralts there. I'm going to attach it. I'm going to send out Cresselia so we can maybe use Moonglow Reverse to play some of the damage counters on the active. I'm going to put an energy onto Zacian. And I'm going to use Zacian's ability, Roar of the Sword, to attach another energy to Zacian. So at least we have the opportunity to swing for 150 turn 2. We also, I think it just sounds okay. Like, we have some options, and I think our opponent's probably just going to go right into a land scoop, unless, of course, they have a supporter in their hands. Typically, a small hand size like this that they couldn't control, not going to have too much going on, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw land scoop. They can't put damage counters on Ralts, Radiant Greninja, and Kirlia with land scoop. So unless they have a Hawlucha, like, they can only choose 2 of my Pokemon to stop their abilities. In here, where they're going to knock out the Mew, they're going to choose one of our Pokemon, probably Greninja, if I ever had a hunch. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I do want to send up Zacian so we can start doing damage to our opponents. I think I'm okay with that. So here we're going to evolve Kirlia, and the first card that I want to discard is just going to be a Rare Candy. We do have quite a few copies of that in our hand. We already evolved into a Kirlia, so that seems fine. Nothing else going on here, so we're just going to go ahead and go for Storm Slash. So 150 on our opponent's active Pokemon. Now, they're in a position where they cannot power this up the next turn without, like, they can't just not attack us, right? So they either use Dino Cry and power this up, or they attack with Land Scoop. And either way, I think we're in a position where it's like we take a prize card. They're going to hit both Ralts and Kirlia here to shut off our abilities. Or at least the ability when this does evolve into a Kirlia or evolves into a Gardevoir from Chilling Reign. So this could be interesting. Definitely one of the more interesting matchups we could have hit. But we're doing okay, I think, so far. Like, if they get a Gutsy Pickaxe off here, I'd be, like, kind of trembling a little bit. A Gutsy Pickaxe can definitely be the difference between them winning or losing the game. We're also, like, just stuck without using our abilities, for what it's worth. I'm not sure where they're going to put the damage counters on. They should not put it on Cresselia. They should just be putting it on something like Ralts, or the Kirlia would be a great choice. So you can see we're struggling a little bit with the draws, but we are going to go ahead and take a knockout with Storm Slash. They don't get the knockout on us, and if they send up Ting-Lu, then we have an opportunity to... if they don't send up Ting-Lu, then we have an opportunity here to use our abilities again. Maybe we'll draw an Iono or something else like that. Kirlia and Ralts also just not bad abilities there. I think they're going to just send up Ting-Lu, use Koraidon, and they'll probably, like, get knocked out here. Oh, they're going to send up Squawk. Interesting. Now, I don't know if they're going to play, like, Raihan here, or what else they might be doing. There's a lot of things that they might, maybe they're just going to go attach and, oh, they're going to play Iono. I mean, to be fair, they probably shouldn't have played Iono. Our hand sucked. So that's another thing. Iono, sometimes you do not want to play it. Gutsy Pickaxe, Gutsy Pickaxe, Gutsy Pickaxe. Thankfully, it is not what we were looking for. I also feel like this deck could also just use a Lumineon for what it's worth, so that's something that I'm probably going to include afterwards. But you can see, like, whether or not we're using Kirlia, Greninja, or any of these other cards, we have a lot of options, and I don't think 3 games is going to show it. I don't think 4 games is going to show it. I think it would take a lot of games to really show it. I'm going to send up Cresselia here so we can start putting damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon. I don't think they're going to choose to attack with anything else. And now that we have the Gardevoir and everything else, they're going to send up a Ting-Lu here for sure. And they're going to power up the one in the active with 2 energies, I think. We're going to take 2 damage counters from each of our Pokemon. That's fine. It almost makes it better for us. Okay, so they're going to use Dino Cry. Okay, they took their 2 energies. They're down to 2 cards in hand again. They are on kind of like top deck mode here, if I ever saw one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to evolve this. We're going to go Fog Crystal. We need a Ralts. We're going to evolve into a Kirlia. We're going to use our ability here because we are an EX Pokemon now. We're going to attach here. And we're going to move 10 to our opponent's active Pokemon. That sets them up for a knockout with Zacian next turn. So we're going to choose this Pokemon to damage there. So that was pretty sick. So now we can get the knockout with Zacian next turn, putting ourselves in a pretty advantageous position if I've ever seen one. We're kind of getting there. We're almost there. Because since this Gardevoir is alive, we can also just get the knockout with Gardevoir next turn. That sounds pretty good. And they're going to continuously move some damage counters around. You can see that the Radiant Greninja no longer has... They're taking damage counters off the Zacian to move to the Radiant Greninja. And they're going to go 150 and then probably put more damage counters on our Pokemon. $120. So I'm going to start off Zacian because we could retreat into the Gardevoir. I don't think they can knock out our Gardevoir. And we'd be in a pretty solid spot. Our opponent is doing an excellent job of placing damage counters around. But you can see, like, even with damage counters, like, we have so many cool outs versus this deck. It's pretty exciting. Now, we still can't use our abilities, so that part does kind of suck. We have 1 energy. So what I'm going to do is actually just retreat the Zacian, send up the Gardevoir because the Gardevoir will get the knockouts. I am going to use Psychic Embrace here. Psychic Embracing the active. And I'm going to go active because they're only doing 150 and we have resistance. So yeah, I think we're big chillin' when it comes down to it. I hope there's nothing that I'm missing here. I'm also just going to attach an energy to this Zacian. Reason why I want to attach energy to Zacian is because we can maybe get a knockout on one of their other Pokemon. We're only a couple energies away from making that happen. So let's knock out this Tinglu, send that Pokemon all the way to the Lost Zone. We have some cool things going on. Another Psychic Energy, a Gardevoir, that's fine. And maybe we'll be able to use an energy or something else like that. Again, Lumineon I think is probably worthwhile, especially with Forest Seal Stone. All those good things going on there. I'm fine with Iono. We probably have a good chance of drawing into a draw supporter ourselves. We drew into Fog Crystal and an energy. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're close to knocking out Tinglu. Pretty close to knocking out Tinglu. I mean, our opponent's doing pretty good this matchup too. The Tinglu's way more annoying than I ever thought it could be. Oh, they're just using Dino Cry. Oh no, they missed an energy. That is huge yikes for our opponent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we could retreat, you have no energies in our discard pile. We'll see what we got. We got Drifloon. We could use Drifloon, Balloon Burst. But that's not going to do enough. We don't have the Bravery Charm. So I think here, if we attach a third energy, that does bring us to 150, 180, 210. So we're 1 energy short of getting the knockout. That's fine. I am just going to go with Miracle Force here. And I don't think our opponent has an answer to this. Like, even if they hit us for 200 with the Koraidon, that's fine. The Koraidon's also weak to Psychic, so that's something that we have another type advantage against our opponents. I don't think they have an opportunity to win this game. It's also hard to retreat because Tinglu has 4 retreat costs. So I'll have to see how it plays out for our opponents. So you might see cards like Drifloon and Bravery Charm and not seeing that they're getting used. I mean, this is definitely a matchup where Champs Festival would have been huge. But Iono is tough also against Tinglu. So I would have liked to use more Kirlia, more Radiant Greninja, had more opportunities this game. But at least this game shows how we might not have options or anything else like that. Oh, okay. Our opponent, I think, is going to draw 3 prize cards this turn. They could have definitely drawn 3 prize cards this turn if they wanted to knock out Ralts. Bring it down to 1 prize card, but they win the game. We'll give our opponent the thumbs up. Trying to be nice here. And since we have 2 prize cards left, we're just going to knock out their Gardevoir here, and let's go ahead and, yeah, they're going to concede. we did take that game overall, Gardevoir being quite a powerhouse in that matchup. So we're going to play another game here. I decided, you want to know what, Ting Lu might not necessarily showcase Gardevoir as much as we wanted to. We are going to go first here, and let's hope that we have something good to end this video off on a high note. I think Gardevoir is widely considered by many to be the best deck in format right now. Not the greatest hand, definitely a hand that we have some kind of finesse with. We have some opportunities to use. And this is a cool thing about this deck is even though we play Battle VIP Pass, we could always pitch them later with our Kirlias or anything else that we could discard with like Ultra Ball. So some really cool cards going on there. Okay, and they're gonna flip over. It looks like we're playing against Chen Pao. In this case, I think what I want to do is probably just use concealed cards first, see what we could draw into. We didn't draw into too much here, but I am going to try to get out some of our Ralts. So we're going to see what we have going on here. There's one Ralts. I'm just going to go Ralts. I'll save the memory skip Ralts for last in case there's anything we need. I'm going to go ahead and discard the Cresselia and the Worker. Cresselia, I don't think it's going to be super strong this matchup. Could be wrong. The Worker, I'm not worried. I think they usually only play Skaters Park and Lost City in this deck, so no Path to the Peak, meaning that we could just grow Ralts, and we're ready to go for next turn. And then we'll just end our turn here. So nothing else for us to do when it comes down to our turn. So we have access to Kirlia to evolve one next turn, and we can play Iono as well. Giving us a lot of mobility when it comes to our cards. Like maybe we'll be able to get Rare Candy Gardevoir. Maybe we'll be able to power up a Zacian and knock out like a Frigibax or something. We'll have to see how their deck operates. But when it comes to this matchup, like this is one of my first times playing Gardevoir versus Chen Pao online. Haven't got a chance to play it in real life too much either. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Like, we have a lot of single prize card Pokemon. They have a lot of 2 prize card Pokemon. They might play Kyogre, so we're going to try to look for that in case we need to put Manaphy down. I'm also not too worried about them hitting 180 damage Snipe. Sweet. It would be nice if we can knock out this Chen Pao turn 2. Probably putting us in a really good position. We also don't need to give our opponent any 2 prize card Pokemon if we don't have to. So that's something that we have to consider when it comes down to it. The amount of cards that we are just going to be, that we can offer up our opponent. Now, if they go for like Rare Candy Baxcalibur off this Irida, we're just going to Iono it to the bottom of their deck and really put them into a tough position, hopefully. There's Rare Candy Baxcalibur, so Iono here proving that it is arguably the best card. So when we say new Gardevoir, Iono is probably the biggest reason that makes Gardevoir better. Gardevoir can protect itself against Iono. And we'll have to see. I think what I want to do here is probably just attach the energy to the Radiant Greninja, because that's our only way out of getting out of the active. And then I'm going to play Iono. There's an opportunity for me to use concealed cards, but I think no matter what, we're going to try to use concealed cards, use Kirlia, try to use everything. It's a lot of energies, so I'm kind of happy with that. When it comes to energies in hand, I do want to use concealed cards first. There is a Rare Candy, so we're starting to get some kind of options. Let's discard another Psychic Energy. So we did get 4 Sealstone. Not anything great here. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just retreating into a Ralts. And then I'm going to pass. So the reason why is so we'll have access to a Radiant Greninja and a Kirlia, and if they knock out one, at least we'll have options for the next one that turn. We're building up energies in our discard pile. So at least if we go for a 2 prize card Pokemon, we can start knocking out our opponent's 2 prize card Pokemon at some point. So if they knock out a 1 prize card Pokemon first, and we just knock out 2/2/2, we are in a very winning spot. So they are going to go for the Rare Candy Baxcalibur. You can see, like, it's exciting to play against 2 brand new decks, the Chen Pao, the Ting Lu. And if you're tuning in new to Pokemon or just, like, watching the Shuffle Squad from one week after another week, you might be like, yo, why are there all these new cards? Pal, they evolved this out on PTCG Live. It's now out in stores in real life. So this is our new format, everyone. A lot of cool new stuff playing around. And even if it's not all the best, and if Lost Zone Box and Lugia and Gardevoir continue to dominate, these decks are definitely threats enough. Like, any Pokemon that can OHKO anything, super has a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities there. We're going to set up the Ralts here. Actually, I'm going to set up the Greninja first. Because we might be able to Rare Candy this into something else. We're really looking for, like, a Gardevoir EX at this point. Because we don't need that many energies to knock out a Chen Pao. See, our opponent's also playing, I think it's Arctibax, the stage 1. Typically, that's not something that gets played. They're going to discard 2 energies to knock out our Ralts, I'm pretty sure. So you can see it's hard for them to get these things knocked out. We're going to knock out their Chen Pao. They might be in a little bit of a tough position. So yeah, we're going to send up the Radiant Greninja. Actually, I'm going to send up the Gardevoir. If we end up getting the Rare Candy, we have opportunities with the Reversal Energy. So there's Fog Crystal. Fog Crystal can definitely get us some things going on. I think Fog Crystal, to start off first, is what we want to do, is grab a Zacian V. Because we have Zacian V, we have 4 Steel Stone. We have some cool stuff going down. I am going to go... I don't even want to put it down yet. I think I just want to see what we get from the sealed cards, to be honest. Okay, Mew. I think I have enough energies in my discard pile. I have 5. 5 times 3. So we're 1 energy short, but we're going to retreat the active. So the card that we want to discard here is actually just going to be Battle VIP Pass. See what we got here. We did get another Kirlia. So here what I think we want to do is actually just go for a Gardevoir play. So we want to go Zacian V, 4 Seal Stone goes down. 4 Seal Stone is going to grab us. With Star Alchemy, we are going to be able to search for a Gardevoir EX. Nothing else that I really want to grab out of the deck here. Gardevoir EX, we're going to be able to evolve in a Gardevoir EX, and we're able to pivot these Pokemon appropriately. So there's 5 energies there. 5 times 3, 150 plus 60, 210 with energy attachment for a turn. So we are going to start going for Psychic Embrace here. So 1, we're just going to start piling up these on the Zacian because we're going to attach them anyways. 1. I wish the Psychic Embrace played out a little bit faster. It's probably like the difference between what we see. If you've played Excalibur, it might seem a little bit faster. They're also placing damage counters here. No excuse at all, but we are going to go ahead, retreat this. So we're going to get our 5th energy with Psychic Embrace. So you can see Psychic Embrace is as many times as you like during your turn. There's our other energy there. So that's 5. That's bringing us to, I believe it's 210. Yeah, and we're going to attach an energy for our turn. We're also going to use Kirlia here. We could have discarded that energy, so that energy discarding would have been a little bit better. We are going to use Refinement to go ahead and discard. What I think I want to discard here, I don't know if the Bravery Charm is going to be like super impactful this matchup. It might be. I don't know if we're going to get behind enough to use this, but like I'm going to discard the Manaphy, and at least I could super rot it back if I feel really bad about it. I'm going to put Mew down, and yeah, let's go for Iono. That's going to put our opponent down to like 5 cards out of their 8 card hands. I don't care about any of these other cards really that we have going on here. At least not yet. Maybe I do. Maybe we'll just grab back the Manaphy and the Ralts, just keeping it real. You can see there's a lot of decision making when it comes to playing this deck, and I'm fine to just kind of shuffle, draw, put this away, get our 6 cards. So using Iono before you draw prize cards is another way to kind of like boost it. Maybe I don't care if they hit for 180 on the bench. I just really like another Ralts here, and at least we have access to Gardevoir the following turn. So let's use Storm Slash. We're gonna get the knockout on this Chen Pao, and we're in the race. So whether or not we use the Drifloon plays or we use the Champs Festival or whatever, so far they're like interesting enough that I want to keep them in there. But if they end up just proving to see like not a lot of like play or a lot of relevancy, they might just be like too like extra when it comes to playing the deck. Okay. So you can see they're getting pretty well set up here, and I mean, they have to find a way out of the active. So I mean, if they're just going to go Chen Pao, Chen Pao, Chen Pao, they're going to have a real tough time this game. Because we're going to follow up this knockout with maybe a Gardevoir knockout. Oh, okay, I'm going to send up Mew. If they're not knocking out Zacian, I'm not worried about it. If they're just going to go Chen Pao knocks out Mew, we are big chillin'. And maybe they have another plan, like maybe they're going to Kyogre the Zacian off the face of the planet, be at 3 prize cards, force us to play a boss's orders. We'll have to see how it plays out. At this point, I try to be attacking with like Lumineon. Oh, they just don't have it. So we are hitting here for 60 times 6. 180, 240. So the cool thing that we have going on here is that we could just start building up other attackers. I'm gonna go like this, discard this, and I'm gonna grab a Gardevoir out of the deck. I actually probably want the other Gardevoir. I think I want the Serena as well, so I think we're gonna go Refinement. Sorry, Manaphy. I know we discarded you, and then I thought I might need you, but I think with our opponent's tough start, we're gonna keep it as is. We can go Mysterious Tail here as well. Just grabbing other cards, like I don't think there's too much that we need. I am gonna go Shining Arcana. Maybe Shining Arcana sounds pretty good. Like you can see that we just have so many things. Like be careful not to deck yourself out when it comes to playing this deck. We're going to go Level Ball now. We're just going to get out another Kirlia. Evolving this Ralts into a Kirlia. So in case anything happens, and I'm fine with our energies, like you don't want to waste your energies that you have in your hands. Especially if you're getting the knockouts and you understand the HP limits of your opponent's deck. Like next turn we have Boss or Serena on this Lumineon V to win the game. So if they do not use Lumineon to shuffle their Pokemon back into their deck, which I believe does not score them a knockouts, or actually it would score them a knockout, they do 120 and we have 100. That's sick for them, but if they don't do too much else, like they're in a really tough spot, and we're just gonna go single prize card Pokemon at that point, knocking out another one of their single prize card Pokemon. Like I don't think they have a path here to win the game. Like I want to give them 4 turns left in the game where I win the game 3 turns in the game. So this is one of their 4 turns. I'm gonna win the game and they're gonna have 2 turns left from what I can understand. If you don't necessarily like understand every single thing that I'm talking about, that's cool. There's a lot of things that I am like just going like throwing out there. I do offer coaching on Manaphy as well, so hit up one of the links in the description or look up Zach Lesage on Manaphy. I'm the top mentor on the website right now, and I'd really love to kind of help people learn how to play Pokemon at the best level. I am going to go Psychic Embrace. We don't need too many energies. Like this is 60, 90, plus another 120, 150. It's slower than I could do math, but actually throws me off. So that's 150 with 3. 4 is 180, as you can see. So we actually can just get the knockout with Brainwave. Don't really want to be doing too much else. Like they can't knock out our Gardevoir, our Kirlia, and our Gardevoir in the active, which I think puts us in a really strong position. Don't know if there's anything else that I really want to put down here. We could always Super Rod and search for anything else. Maybe I'll use Shining Arcana just to draw some more cards, and maybe we could get an energy if we need one. I'd love to use the Drifloon for the sake of the video, but I'm not going to go out of my way and make a tough play just cause. I'm not going to try to deck ourselves out. So we're down to 1 prize card. Now this is where they might Iono us. We still have access to Kirlia and Radiant Greninja and Gardevoir EX as an attacker. So I think they might struggle a little bit. They might be able to, they might try to knock out Gardevoir and Mew. So with Radiant Greninja, we also have to watch out for what they could have done. So maybe the Manaphy would have been good. If they get down to 1 prize card in this game, that's fine. Maybe they just go knock out Kirlia and knock out Gardevoir. But then we just knock them out. Okay, so they're not playing Iono on us. I don't know what their Jacques does. Search your deck for 2 evolution Pokemon. Okay, so they're all in on the Excalibur play. And I think they're just going to concede, basically lose this game. So we're able to get the knockout with Gardevoir. We could have got the knockout with Zacian. We could get knockout with anything. You could attach the Gardevoir, retreat into whatever Pokemon you have. They did bring it down to 1 prize card. I'm really hoping that they do not concede against us, so we can get kind of full credit for this game. So let's go ahead and use Psychic Embrace. We're just going to attach the 3 energies as quickly as possible. 1 energy. And we can attack with Gardevoir EX too, right? So like we have some cool things going on here. Only 1 prize card left. If we had 2 prize cards left, we also could have got the knockout on their Lumineon. So we're going to end the Psychic Embrace, and we are going to take the knockout on our opponent's or on their Radiant Greninja, showing how powerful Gardevoir actually can be. So a really good game to our opponent. Kind of scary with the drawing double prize cards there, but we were able to take that one. Well, that's what we got going on for Gardevoir EX today. As you saw, we used Psychic Embrace a lot. Didn't really use the Drifloon Bravery Charm Champs Festival, but out of a 2-game sample size that we played, I actually only played 2 games. It's one of those things where it might not always pop up. We did have an undefeated record, and again, it's only 2 games, so don't think that I'm bragging here about our 2-0 victory on PTCG Live, but if that's what you're bragging about, that's cool too. I mean, Pokemon's really about for however you really fit in there. Gardevoir EX seems quite powerful with Iono, and the biggest change here to the deck is going to be Iono. Giving yourself the opportunity to put your opponent to a lower hand size, you're able to recover it even if you've drawn a lot of prize cards, or early game, you could use it to refresh your entire hand. I think that Gardevoir is going to be one of the best decks heading into the last weekend of League Cups, League Challenges this quarter, and of course NAIC, so be sure to keep out on the lookout for this deck. If you don't have all the cards for this deck, by all means head over to ptcgostore.com, potownsstore.com, use any of our discount codes that we have available in our description, or you can pick up the physical copies from Atlas Collectibles. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let us know how you feel about it. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out, and have a great one. The Shuffle Squad proudly uses Ultimate Guard products. We think that their Cortex and Katana sleeves are absolutely fantastic with to play in tournaments. And of course, they have a wide range of products that are simply fantastic. Whether you're looking for a new binder, playmat, or if you're looking for one of the Sidewinder deck boxes you might have seen one of us play with, be sure to check it out. They have their EU web shop, and it's available on Amazon elsewhere. Head on over to atlascollectibles.com and support the Shuffle Squad by buying some of their products. You could get a discount of 6% off of Pokemon TCG booster boxes, so you could grab from a large selection of sealed product, save 6%, or you could save 12% by using code TSS12 on all of their Pokemon TCG singles. Atlas has a large selection and ships worldwide, so be sure to pick up your Pokemon products there. Use code TSS5 at ptcgostore.com to save 5% off your order of Pokemon TCG Live codes. They have a great selection of codes available from all different sets at competitive rates. They get instantly emailed to you, so you can use them right away to get all the cards you need to build that next great deck creation. Again, use code TSS5 to save 5% off at ptcgostore.com. Have you ever wanted more content from the Shuffle Squad? Well, we do have a Patreon account. You can support the Shuffle Squad directly by pledging towards our content, whether you want to get access to a special discount code from one of our sponsors, or if you want to have access to all of our deck lists, exclusive Pokemon TCG articles, and more. You can even chat with the Shuffle Squad in Discord. So this really does help support the Shuffle Squad getting to more events, and we do have some amazing articles for you to learn more about. Be sure to sign up to play in the Shuffle Squad's late night events. They happen every single Tuesday night at 12 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern. We have one that's geared towards more of an EU time zone and an NA time zone, but anyone's welcome to play. There's an opportunity to win a trip to Japan for the World Championships, so by all means, feel free to participate in these events for free. You could check out any of the links that we have available in the description. Get coaching from the Shuffle Squad on Metafy. If you want to improve your game on Pokemon TCG, you can absolutely test with the best. We have some of the best players in the world on our team. So whether you want to get coaching from Calvin or our current EUIC champion, Alex Szymanski, or anyone else that's available on Metafy from the Shuffle Squad, pick up some coaching today, become the best player you can be. Thank you so much for supporting the Shuffle Squad by watching this video. It would mean the world to us if you'd like this video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even leave a comment. You can also click on this other video from the Shuffle Squad to continuously watch and support us. If you haven't got a chance, check out the description to learn more about our sponsors, and that could also help support the Shuffle Squad. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a great one.